Red Dead Online has a lot of unreleased content updates, and today I will be sharing with you guys all the current but certainly not widely known news and information regarding these updates themselves. And I do want to take the time to say, however, I understand how frustrated everyone is with the current state of the game, and I completely empathize with you. I can go on and on about it, but at the end of the day, there are still players who are quite happy with Red Dead Online and look to this channel to get something more out of the game, and they want to consume content that can either inspire them or give them ideas or even just merely entertain them, and I want to make sure I deliver on that. So today we have a really fun topic, and I'm excited to bring you guys this video. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. What pieces that are a part of today's discussion really stand out to you, both as a person and as a Red Dead Online player? Of course, bugs aside, I'd like to gauge how you feel about each individual piece, so any feedback from you is greatly appreciated. But if you are new to the channel, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2, especially if you are a part of that 76% of people who have checked out the content but may not have necessarily subscribed. If you guys want to stay up to date with all things Red Dead Online on a daily basis, the content will still be here all the same, but the option is definitely there for you. But anyways though, let's start talking about all this unreleased content. The first up on the chopping block here is private lobbies. I think it's safe to say that the majority of the community wants this feature added to Red Dead Online, and not only do some players not want to be bothered by griefers and other nuisances, because defensive mode is not a proper substitute and can easily be exploited, but the game will just function better if these lobbies are in the game. Players are almost always inquiring about a private lobby glitch so they can get their animals to spawn, or so they can work on Trader and get some in-game cash. They want their camp to start working again, or sometimes they just want to escape the chaos that sometimes ensues in specific Red Dead Online public sessions. And the good news is that this feature, or at least part of it, is currently in the game at the moment, and it's really up to Rockstar to enable it or not. Shared by Videotech on Twitter are some Red Dead Online private lobby references in the game files, and we have two prompts that are currently accessible and discoverable in-game, and I will share them with you guys on screen. The first is unable to join. This session is private and you must be invited. And the second is, are you sure you would like to switch to a private session? All unsaved progress will be lost. I'll make sure to leave Videotech's Twitter down in the description for you all to check out, but with him stating private lobbies are still in the cards, it may only be a matter of time to see some real change for the better in Red Dead. The developers in charge of running the show clearly have this grand vision of Red Dead Online being the massive open world where all cowboys, outlaws, and more can roam the western frontier and carve out their own meaning, as they've stated, whatever meaning that may be. But it is clear as day, especially since the release of the Frontier Pursuits update, that although this vision is bold and very admirable, I'll admit, it currently just won't work how they want it to right now. They want high player count lobbies, yet in those same high player count lobbies, the entire game starts to break down into pieces, and they would rather force this grand vision and have players experience a broken mess than give players what the game desperately needs, and that is private servers. And not just private lobbies for the sake of adding them. Private lobbies implemented so that there is no hang up on the camps, animals work properly and can be predictable, and gang hideouts and other free roam dynamic events trigger and work properly as well, and the list of course goes on and on. There are so many advantages to implementing private lobbies, and although it won't be a comprehensive solution, it surely can't have any adverse effects on the game. It won't harm the public match experience, as the public match experience is the exact same thing that's been failing to work since the launch of Red Dead Online. But moving on, however, we do have new drip feed items coming soon for Red Dead as well, with the Moonshiner drip feed, and these images can be found in my description. I don't necessarily want to put them on screen because they are unreleased content and that could put my channel at risk of a copyright strike, but the images aren't necessarily in a high enough resolution to make out the names from the text featured below the items, but we can see exactly how many unique pieces of male and female clothing were added to the game with the Moonshiners update. Lots of these items, as you may have noticed, have already been released, but more are definitely on the way, and most likely in this upcoming Tuesday content update, considering we didn't get any new clothing last week. What have you thought of the new clothing with Moonshiners so far though? How does it compare to other Red Dead updates like Frontier Pursuits or even the spring update clothing back in May? Again, if you want to see the upcoming Moonshiners content update clothing, make sure to check it out in the description. I'll have it properly labeled. I just can't put it on screen because I do not want anything to happen to my channel from Rockstar or Take-Two or whoever files claims for Red Dead Online here on YouTube. But a new unreleased role is also accessible in the Red Dead Online game files, and that is the Naturalist Role. And I have a video going in depth on all details so far, and you can find that upload in the past couple weeks here on my channel, and again, that can be linked in the description. But I will discuss some of the major points and crucial information here while I have you guys watching. And in short, the Naturalist Role has been discovered in the Red Dead game files, and it's shaping up to be the next role added to the game when we get a new DLC sometime in 2020, whether that's March or April or even before or beyond. TezFunds2 over on Twitter shares some interesting details as well as on the GTA forums about what this role could entail, how it will function in game, and even says that it could be a Moonshiners Part 2, as it may very well be the second half to the Moonshiners update, meaning originally the update in December could have been a lot larger if everything released all at once. And he discusses collecting herbs, while I mentioned in my video that Rockstar shares their interest in adding a photography role to Red Dead Online, and the Naturalist fits in line with that same theme. Of course, a dedicated outlaw role with activities like robbing banks, homes, stagecoaches, pedestrians, etc. is something that the community wants more, but I still feel like any large-scale heist is a ways away, unfortunately. Only time will tell, so what we have to deal with right now is this Naturalist role and the photography role. And if you want more details, I highly recommend you check out my video on it. Again, link down in the description below. Before we touch on our last unreleased content update coming to Red Dead though, let's talk about Mexico, and I really mean Mexico and Red Dead Online. Mexico, of course, is an out-of-bounds area in Red Dead Redemption 2. Town models are in the game files, but not all the models are necessarily placed and visible in the game itself, and we all want it to be added as DLC in story mode and online. But for now, if you do want to access Mexico, you will have to glitch outside using various methods, with old ones always being patched, but also the new methods and glitches also popping up with each new update added. And thanks to some tools, data miners have been able to peek inside the PlayStation 4 RPF archives thanks to ID Daemon and Flats. In the game file levels/RDR3/terrain/VWXY0306, this file houses most of the Mexico related content that can be found in the game, and the contents of this specific folder has nvo01.rpf, which is the RPF file containing the most SLOD models and textures for the Mexico towns and more. And thanks to Autodesk 3ds Max plugins, it is possible to view these models in 3ds Max. And what I'm about to say next is truly incredible. There are over 14 towns and unused models, which all include the famous locations like Chuparosa, Escalera, Barranca, and the cemetery featured in the middle of Mexico in Red Dead Redemption 1. And the scale form mini-maps were also discovered by Wildbrick 142 that shows the boundaries and the outlines of these visible town models. But it is worth noting that these have been removed, and only the remnants of these boundaries, like the names of the locations, remain in the files. Red Dead Redemption 2's language text file, which was kept for the user interface text, has a plethora of location coordinates and Mexico names as well. All of these things can be linked in my description down below over on Twitter. This is all coming from Videotech as well on Twitter, so major shout out to him. Definitely go check him out. Again, I don't want to feature any of this stuff on screen just in case it does open me up to any sort of copyright strike or copyright claim, but there is actually a lot more to share. But we have to move on to our next unreleased content update for Red Dead Online before we run out of time in this video. And I'm thinking of expanding upon the Mexico topic in a separate video, and so if you would like to see more, make sure you let me know in the comments section. I'll be keeping a close eye on viewer interest for this topical discussion, absolutely, because I really want to talk about this more with you guys. But the last unreleased content update is the PC and PS4 story mode content coming to Xbox One. Alongside the new content added to Red Dead Online with Moonshiners, Xbox players will also get all the recent story mode updates that debuted in Red Dead Redemption 2 for both PC first back in November and then PS4 in December. And this includes photo mode, which lets you capture and share stunning images from the frontier with an array of features including freeform camera movement and the ability to add filters, stickers, or text and upload your shots directly to Social Club. And in addition to the photo mode for Xbox, Red Dead Redemption 2 on Xbox will also get the story mode bounty hunter missions where you can track down wanted criminals like Ermin Zizendorf and Camille de Millamont and Bart Kavanaugh, as well as also gain access to story mode gang hideouts like the De Lobos gang at Gaptooth Breach and Solomon's Folly, and story mode treasure maps, which are Landmark of the Riches and the Elemental Trail. You can also get access to the Ends of the Earth story mode mission, and the M1899 pistol, the Evans repeater, the High Roller revolver, and Lamat revolver also in the story mode, and horses added to the story mode like the Warped Brindle Arabian, Few Spot Appaloosa, and Perlino Andalusian, and the Red Chestnut Arabian. And then lastly, you can gain access to hidden trinkets which have been added to the story mode, which are the Hawk Talon, the Cat Eye, Shark Tooth, Turtle Shell, and Crow Beak. This is the one content update players can look forward to very soon, as we have a set release date for this new story mode content. Xbox One players can look forward to these additions arriving on January 21st, which is this upcoming Tuesday, along with the Red Dead Online early access content announced for PlayStation 4 back in December when the Moonshiners DLC update initially released. So that's where we're going to wrap up today's video. This was a lot to talk about, and there is still a lot more on the chopping block that we will break down later here on the channel. But with that said, is there anything in particular you really liked hearing about in this video? Do you feel like any of this new unreleased content is on the horizon to be officially added to the game in the foreseeable future? Or do you think these things are far cries for us as players right now? I think definitely Mexico could be one of those. We're not going to see that, if ever, for a really long time. If it's ever coming to the game, I would guess it's probably going to be next-gen content and not necessarily on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, but it could be coming on the PlayStation 5 and the next Xbox. Or, you know, maybe do you really just not care and you just want Rockstar to fix the in-game issues? That's totally understandable as well. I'd rather bug fixes right now before any new content. But nonetheless, hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you did, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Red Dead Online and Red Dead Redemption 2. If you guys want to stay up to date with updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, we'll keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys also want to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube. I practically live on all three of those websites, and I'm constantly live streaming on Twitch and updating original content on Twitter and Instagram. So you can feel free to strike up a conversation and ask me a question. Whatever it may be, you can follow me at HazardousHDTV, and all of my social media links, including my Discord and everything else in this video, can be found in the description down below. And with that said, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next Red Dead Online video. Adios, amigos.